Honorable members, I refer ourselves to Standing Order number 32 on quorum and direct that the quorum bell be rung for the first 5 minutes. When the bell is being rung, no member shall leave the house except the whip, who may go out to whip the members who are outside to come in. Can a member confirm if we have quorum? I'm seeing the seat of the majority leader is occupied. Or a member sitting in on interim basis for the whip.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker and honorable members. We have a quorum.
Clerk, take us to the order of the day.
Third Assembly, third session. Order paper number 198 of today, Thursday, 13th June 2024 at 2:30 p.m. Order number 1, administration of oath.
Next order.
Order number 2, communication from the chair.
Next order.
Order number 3, messages.
Next order.
Order number 4, petitions.
Next order.
Order number 5, papers.
Honorable Emily.
Mr. Speaker, I'd like to lay papers on behalf of my chair, who is away on official duty. First one, to the provision of orders number 182.6 of the standing orders. I wish to table today, Thursday, the 13th of June, 2024, report of medical services, public health and sanitation on A, number 1, the status of Moroni County Hospital. Number 2, the status of Lumumba County Hospital. Number 3, the status of Kombewa County Hospital. Number 4, the financial management concerns in the county healthcare system, case of audit reports by PICPAC committee. And number 5, the proposal to amend the Kisumu County Health Facilities Improvement Fund Act 2021 in accordance with the Facilities Improvement Financing Act 2023.
Honorable members, the reports are properly laid before the House and the House Business Committee to consider them for scheduling for purpose of debate. Next order.
Order number 6, notices of motion.
Honorable Emily.
Reports of the Medical Services, Public Health and Sanitation Committee, and that pursuant to the provision of orders number 45.1 of the standing orders, this House reports of medical services and public health and sanitation on the first one, the status of Moroni County Hospital. Second one, the status of Lumumba County Hospital. Third one, the status of Kombewa County Hospital. And the fourth one, the financial management concerns in the county healthcare system, the case of audit reports by PICPAC committee. And number 5, the proposal to amend the Kisumu County Health Facilities Improvement Fund Act 2021 in accordance with the Facilities Improvement Financing Act 2023. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable members, I want to direct that the clerk ensures that members have those reports in advance now that the notice has been given, even as the House Business Committee schedules them for debate. Next order.
Order number 7, statements.
The statement time. Next order.
Commencement of business. Order number 8, motion on the adoption of a report of Water, Environment, Natural Resources and Climate Change Committee on the status of projects within the county by the Honorable Samuel Dede.
Honorable Samuel Dede.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. I wish to move a motion for adoption on Committee on Water, Environment, Natural Resources and Climate Change report on the status of water projects within the county. Let me take a lead of this House that we are going with the moving notes, being that the report has already been circulated on soft copy in our softwares. So, we are on the moving notes. To the executive summary, Mr. Speaker, Sir and Honorable Member, the following report presents an overview of several water projects implemented in various locations, highlights key observations, challenges, and recommendations for improvement. The projects are under review included Kamunda Water Project, Orago Water Project, Wawidhi Water Project, Kalure Water Project, Ongalo Nyawara Water Project, Godputh Water Project, and St. Barnabas Water Project. During the site visit, the committee identified several gaps in the implementation of water projects in the county. Furthermore, the committee formulated recommendations based on what was established on the ground. 1. Kamunda Water Project. The observations from Kamunda Water Project. 1. The water tank was placed low on the ground. During the site visit, Mr. Speaker, the tank is installed on the ground base, contrary to recommended practices of raising it. It may pose challenges in terms of water pressure and accessibility. This may also position the tank to possible vandalism by penetrators. Number 2, we found at Kamunda, there was a lack of oversight and community engagement. In that, the absence of the ward administrator and PMC or the project management team during the project implementation indicates a lack of proper governance and oversight, potentially leading to insufficient and mismanagement of the county resources. The third observation was incomplete fencing. While we visited the ground, Mr. Speaker, we found that the fencing around the project site has not been completed as per the BQ, raising concerns about the security and the safety of the water infrastructure. The fourth observation we found at Kamunda was that lack of oversight or lack of the sideboard. The absence of the sideboard indicates the responsible contractor reflects a lack of transparency and accountability on the project execution process. The fifth observation we found at Kamunda was that community impact wasn't followed. The project's incomplete implementation means it is not serving the community as intended, deriving them access to essential clean water. The sixth observation we found at Kamunda that the base construction issues were not adequately answered. In that, inadequacy of the construction of the base raised concern about the structural integrity and long-term functionality of the water tank. Weak base may destroy the water tank after a short period. The second site we visited was Orago Water Project. Orago Water Project is situated in Masogo Nyangoma Ward. The observation from Orago Water Point was that there was partial completion. At the time of visit, Mr. Speaker, only drilling and casing have been completed as of post-July 2023, indicating a lack of progress beyond initial stages of implementation. This suggests the potential delays of challenges in executing the project fully. The second observation at Orago, the PMCs were not involved. The presence of the project management committee during the project implementation signifies the level of oversight and management coordination. Their involvement may contribute to effective decision-making and resource allocation. The third observation, proximity to existing borehole. We found that the project site is located in a close proximity to another dilapidated borehole within 80 meters. This raises a question about the necessity and feasibility of the Orago Water Project in addressing local water needs, considering the availability of nearby water resources. The third water project we visited was Wawidhi Water Project, which is situated in Wawidhi, Eastern Wawidhi Ward. The observation we found at Wawidhi Water Projects were that, 1, there was drilling and test pumping. The drilling for the water project was initiated in the year 2021, while test pumping was conducted in August 2023. This indicates the progress in the initial stages of the project, but further actions beyond testing are required for completion. 2. Incomplete construction. Despite the drilling, only the base construction has been completed, suggesting a significant delay or hindrance in advancing the project to its intended completion stage. The third observation we found at Wawidi was that continued reliance on dirty water. We found that the fact that the school still relies on the dirty water from the dam underscores the urgency and importance of completing the water project. The delay in implementation directly impacts the health and well-being of the community members who lack access to clean water. The fourth observation, there was lack of specified scope of work. We found that there is a lack of clarity regarding the specified scope of work from the department overseeing the project. This ambiguity may contribute to delays and insufficient in the project's execution, as well as the challenges in meeting the stakeholders' expectation. The fifth observation was that there was long duration of incomplete implementation. Despite being initiated 3 years ago, the project remains incomplete. This prolonged timeline indicates systemic issues of challenges that need to be addressed to ensure the timely, successful completion of the project. The next water project we visited was the Kaluri Water Project. The Kaluri Water Project is situated in Kubura Ward. Observation from the Kaluri Water Project, there was delayed commencement. Despite that the groundbreaking ceremony held in February 2023, the project faced delays in progress beyond this initial stage. This indicates a lack of prompt action and implementation following the project's announcement. The second observation we found at Kaluri was contractors' delays. The termination of the project was attributed to the delay caused by the contractor, indicating a failure to adhere to agreed timelines and obligations. This highlights issues which contractor management performance monitoring. The fourth observation was lack of progress. No significant work, including drilling or infrastructure construction, was undertaken despite the passage of the time since the project's initiation. This suggests a lack of momentum and proactive project management in advancing the project towards completion. The fourth observation was incomplete status. The department responsible for overseeing the project has labeled it as incomplete, indicating that the project did not progress sufficiently to meet the established benchmarks or expectations. This underscores the failure to achieve the intended project objective within the stipulated framework. The other side members visited was Ongalo Nyawara Water Project, which is situated in southwest Kisumu Ward. The observation we found at Nyawara Ongalo Water Project were there was partial completion. The project has undergone partial construction, including the installation of fencing, tank base, and solar panels. However, significant components of the project remain unfinished, indicating an incomplete implementation. The second observation we found at Nyawara, Ongalo Nyawara, inadequate base construction. The construction of the base of the water tank has been conducted using inadequate materials, raising concern about its structural integrity and long-term durability. This compromises the reliability of the infrastructure. The fourth observation was that abandoned raised tank plan. We found that the initial plan of the install was to install a raised tank has been abandoned, suggesting a deviation from the original project design or specification. This decision may impact the efficiency and effectiveness of water distribution within the community. The fourth observation was concerns about the support and vulnerability. There are concerns regarding that the support provided by the base of the water tank and the vulnerability of the solar panels. These issues pose risk to the functionality and sustainability of the water project, requiring urgent attention. The fifth observation was lack of reservoir tank extension. There has been no extension to the reservoir tank for the school, indicating a failure to address the water needs of the educational institution adequately. This oversight affects the access to clean water and for students and the staff. The sixth observation was continued reliance on dirty water. Despite the partial implementation of the project, residents in the area is still relying on dirty water resources. The project's incomplete status contributes to persistent water quality issue, compromising public health and well-being. The next water project the committee visited was the Godputh Water Project, also found in southwest Kisumu ward. The observation from Godputh were the complete pump installation, one. The successful installation of the water pump signifies significant milestone in the project, as it serves as the primary mechanism for water extraction and distribution. This achievement demonstrates progress forward, providing sustainable access to clean water for the community. The second observation was the solar panel adjustment. The adjustments of the solar panels indicate the commitment to utilize renewable energy sources for powering the water pump, promoting environmental sustainability. Proper alignment and maintenance of solar panels are crucial for the maximizing energy efficiency and ensuring uninterrupted operation of the water system. The fourth observation we found at the Godputh was the tank installation. The completion of tank installation is essential to storing and regulating the distribution of water. A properly installed tank enhances the stability and efficiency of the water supply system, ensuring consistent access to clean water for community members. The fourth observation was fencing and gate completion. The construction of fencing and the gate around the water infrastructure area is crucial for security and protection against vandalism or unauthorized access. This measure helps safeguard the integrity of the project infrastructure and ensures the safety equipment and facilities. The fifth observation was planned extension to Ogal Market. Mr. Speaker, when we visited the area, the community proposed for extension of the water project to Ogal Market, indicating a proactive approach to expanding clean water access in additional areas within the community. The expansion effort reflects a commitment to meeting the growing water needs of the residents and supporting economic activities in the market area. The sixth observation found was impact to the community. We found that the water project was serving a large community with clean water access, highlights the positive impact of the Godputh Water Project on public health, hygiene, and overall quality of life. Access to clean water is essential for various domestic, commercial, and agricultural activities, contributing to community development and well-being. The next water project the committee visited was St. Barnabas Water Project, which is situated in North Seme North Seme ward. The observation upon at St. Barnabas water projects were unsuccessful borehole drilling. Despite the initiation of drilling in 2018, the borehole has not been successful in producing water. This setback presents a significant challenge to the project's objects and raises concern about the viability of the chosen location for water extension. The second observation was concerning the scope of work and ambiguity. There was lack of clarity regarding the project's scope of work, particularly concerning responsibility related to the installation and maintenance of the solar mast. This ambiguity may have contributed to an inefficient in project planning and execution, hindering progress and exhibiting existing challenges. The third observation was financial burden on the school. With the borehole failing to provide water, the school has been forced to rely on expensive water purchase to meet its daily needs. This financial strain is not only impact on the school's budget, but also underscores the urgency of resolving the water supply issues to alleviate financial rescue. The fourth observation was concerned inadequate infrastructure and protection. The project suffers from an inadequate infrastructure and protection measures, leaving the equipment vulnerable to damage or theft. Insufficient protection comprises the integrity of the project and poses risk for its sustainability, requiring immediate attention and enforcement. The fifth observation was allegation of mismanagement. There was an allegation of forged documents and mismanagement raised serious concern about the project's integrity and transparency. Such allegation can erode trust among stakeholders, hinder collaboration, and impede progress towards achieving project objectives. Addressing these allegations and ensuring accountability is essential for restoring confidence and credibility in the project. After the site visit, the committee made the following observation, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, sir, and honorable members, the assessment of this water project reveals a range of implementation challenges, including the implementation construction, inadequate planning, and mismanagement of resources. This address these issues and ensure effective water provision to communities. The following recommendations were proposed. 1. Enhance program oversight. It is imperative to fortify project oversight mechanism by ensuring the consistent presence of pertinent authorities, including water administrators and project management committees, the PMCs, throughout all projects of the project implementation. This involves establishing a robust framework where these stakeholders are actively engaged to monitor progress, identify potential bottlenecks, and swiftly address any emerging issues. By maintaining a proactive stance in overseeing the project, we can ensure accountability, optimize resource allocation, and ultimately enhance the effectiveness and efficiency of the project outcome. 2, second recommendation, enhance planning and scoping procedure. It is essential to elevate our approach to problem planning and scoping by meticulously developing comprehensive scope of work tailored to each project's unique requirement. This involves conducting thorough assessments and consultation to identify project objectives, deliverables, timelines, and resource needs. By adhering closely to the meticulously crafted plans, you can mitigate the risk of delays, cost overruns, and discrepancies that often arise due to vague or incomplete scope of work. Incorporating risk assessment and contingency plans within the planning phase can provide as a buffer against unforeseen challenges and uncertainties, thereby bolstering project resilience. Additionally, fostering clear communication challenges among all stakeholders involved in the planning process ensure alignment of expectation and facilities smoothen execution. The third recommendation was to strengthening of the contractor's accountability. It is improved to institute a robust monitoring mechanism aimed at fostering heightened accountability among contractors, ensuring their adherence to project timelines and specification. This involves implementing a multi-phased approach that encompasses rigorous oversight, transparent communication, and proactive intervention strategies. The fourth recommendation was to foster the community engagement through public participation. It found that it is essential to actively facilitate the meaningful involvement of local communities in project planning and decision-making process to ensure the projects are not only aligned with their needs, but also garner their support and ownership. Community engagement services as the cornerstone for promoting inclusivity, enhancing project relevance, and fostering sustainable development outcomes. To achieve this, it is imperative to adopt a participatory approach that emphasizes collaboration, dialogue, and empowerment. This involves establishing platform for open communication and consultation, where community members are invited to contribute their insights, preferences, and concerns from early stages of the project conception. The fifth recommendation was to ensure quality assurance. It is imperative to prioritize quality assurance measures throughout the construction process of uphold standards and mitigate the risk associated with the standards workmanship. This entails implementing a comprehensive framework encompassing regular inspection, stringent quality check, and proactive intervention to safeguard the integrity and durability of the project deliverables. Central to this approach is the establishment of the robust inspection protocols that outline clear criteria and benchmarks for assessing work quality of various stages of construction. These protocols should be systematically applied by qualified inspectors equipped with the necessary expertise and tools to identify deviations from specification and address deficiency promptly. The sixth recommendation was prompt transparency in procurement process. Upholding transparency and accountability in the procurement process is paramount to fostering trust, promoting fair competition, and mitigating the risk of corruption or malpractice. To achieve this, it is essential to establish and adhere to robust procurement procedure that prioritize openness, fairness, and adherence to regulatory framework. A cornerstone of transparent procurement is establish clear guidelines and protocols governing the solicitation, evaluation, and awarding of contracts for materials and services. The guidelines should be communicated effectively to all stakeholders involved in the procurement processes, ensuring shared understanding of expectation and responsibility. Furthermore, leveraging individual procurement platforms and electronic transparent tendering system can enhance transparency and streamline procurement workflows by facilitating real-time access to procurement documentation, bid submissions, and evaluation outcome by promoting a greater visibility and accessibility of procurement data. These tools enable the stakeholders to monitor procurement activities, detect anomalies, and hold accountable those responsible for the decision making. The seventh recommendation was ensuring sustainable post-completion support. Recognizing the importance of sustaining infrastructure functionality and meeting long-term community needs, it is imperative to provide comprehensive post-completion support for completed projects. This entails adopting a proactive and holistic approach to maintenance, operation, and community engagement aimed at optimizing the lifespan and performance of infrastructure assets. Central to this endeavor is establishment of structured maintenance schedule and protocols tailored to the specific requirements of each infrastructure asset. These schedules should outline regular inspection routines, preventive maintenance activities, and responsive repair mechanism to address wear and tear, equipment failure, and environmental factors that may impact the infrastructure integrity. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. With the observation we made and the recommendation made from the site visit, we found that once we visit the projects within our locality, we see and get to know what was intended to be done, what has been done, and if we have value for the money which was allocated for the project. With those few remarks, Mr. Speaker, in conclusion, it's now my pleasure to move this motion that this House adopts the report on water, environment, natural resource, and climate change committee report on status of water projects within the county. May I call Honorable Emily Oginga to second. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable members, now that a motion has been moved by the Committee of Water, Environment and Natural Resources, seconded, I want to propose a question. And I propose that the report by the Committee on Water, Environment and Natural Resources and Climate Change on the status of water projects within the county is open for debate. Honorable Peter Obas.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, Let me start by commending this our committee for this elaborate report. Mr. Speaker, one of our roles in this house is to make sure that there is service delivery to our people and should be effective. And one of our roles also is to make sure that our people get clean water and and can access that clean water effectively. And through that, that's why we saw it as a committee, and we went for site visit. And it was quite unfortunate that out of 10 projects we visited, only one was in operation. And these are projects that goes back, way back to around 2 years ago. I think it should be a matter of concern, not only to us, but it should be a matter of concern to the whole county of Kisumu. Through this, I think it was an eye-opener, and other committees should learn something from this, and also try to visit other projects to make sure that whatever we pass in this assembly be implemented to the latter, so as our people can get service delivery and be able to live a well life. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I beg to support for the adoption of this report. Thank you.
Honorable Bill.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving me this time to give my views on the report. Mr. Speaker, I want to first thank the committee, the Water Committee, for giving us a clear picture of the projects that we have in this county, particularly the water projects. Mr. Speaker, from the report, the committee visited 10 boreholes. And the clear picture we are getting, Mr. Speaker, is a picture that shows us that we need to pull up our socks as a county government. Mr. Speaker, I always love to start by talking about devolution and the founders, the people who thought that devolution was a good thing. They wanted to bring development in the counties so that development doesn't concentrate only from one point. All the counties to be seen, at least to be developed. Mr. Speaker, looking at what we have in this report, it is saddening. And I'm worried because nearly all the boreholes have problems. If you start with one, Kaluore Water Project, which is in my ward, Mr. Speaker, the contractor came after the contractor was given that job. He visited that place once, never to be seen. And we even contacted the sub-county engineer on water after the period had elapsed. we expected the sub-county engineer to act, but nothing happened. So we question if we are getting value for our money, because every financial year there's a budget, and in that budget there are projects to be done. So if a project is not done, it means that goes like that, and the people of that area don't get value from the evolution. Mr. Speaker, another thing to note from this report is that contractors in this county, when they get the contract, the scope of work is not normally shown to the people of the community, which is bad, because you can't monitor what you don't know, because you don't know what the contractor is to do, and you don't know where the project should end. So this is something I've noted from this report, and we should, rather the county government should work on a system where after a contractor is given a contract, the scope of work, the BQ, should be uploaded in the system so that anybody, because this is a public document, anybody should download it, and anybody, be it, let me just say anybody should have it so that they can monitor and know if a project is being done well or something fishy is happening. It is also sad to note from the report that some of the contractors even divert from what is shown in the BQ. Because in Ongalo Water Project, there's a tank there that was supposed to be raised, and it was not raised. The contractor left it, I don't know, it was on the ground. So it means in this county there's some of the contractors, rogue contractors, they feel that maybe or rather we are not going to do something, and they end up doing things as they wish, but not as it is in the BQ. And again, Mr. Speaker, from the report, we can also see that the solar systems, the world is shifting to solar, and electricity is rather solar. But then you realize that every project that we have in this county that is solar powered, be it the water projects, be it the lights that we have in this county, we don't have a system of engineers, or rather we don't have engineers put in place with this county to always go around and do some repairs. Every financial year, we allocate funds for the emergencies. But then, if you ask the emergencies, if you follow all the how the emergency funds have been used in this county, you'll realize that it's either doing a particular project or the other. No new things, like even the repairs. So we should have engineers put by the county government to always go around and do the maintenance. Because we may have good projects like boreholes powered by solar, but if we have a weak maintenance system, then that project is not going to help the people of that community. So it is saddening that this is the picture we have in this Kisumu County. And I am happy that the water committee has shown Kisumu County what is really happening on the ground and what is really happening with our contractors at the ground. So, looking at the recommendations, I'm happy that the report I'm happy that this report has given us recommendations here, but also in my happiness, I'm worried if what we are having here is going to be implemented. So I'm hoping in the few weeks to come, we are also going to see some of these recommendations being put to practice so that we put Kisumu County forward and make it the leading county in this country as it is supposed to be. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I support.
Honorable Mildred.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for recognizing gender, though I stood up last. I want to start by supporting the report by the status of the water project that was done by Committee of Water, Environment, Natural Resource, and Climate Change. Mr. Speaker, this committee went round the different wards where the boreholes were dug, and they identified 10 water projects. I do not want to list the 10 water projects because it's already been read, but I want to start by saying the importance of water. Water promotes quality of life and public health and promotion of health, economic and social status. We all know that if we do not have water, then even our food security is jeopardized. Mr. Speaker, reading this report, it's very sad that some of the key pillars of this county and even during election campaigns was water. That when you talk to communities while you're campaigning, the first item on your list is water. Because we know that so many households have no access to safe drinking water, the more reason why there are so many health issues. That if you do not have proper drinking water or access to clean water, obviously there'll be so many diseases that attack the communities that can only be cured by if they have water. There's also the issue of food security, Mr. Speaker, that if we cannot have access to water in each and every ward, maybe a kilometer of 2 to 3 kilometers away, then obviously we do not expect people to rely on the rain so that they can grow their food crops and things like vegetables. So this report is very important, Mr. Speaker, that sometimes you wonder if there was any work that was done, especially at the BQ level is very specific, that you're supposed to dig water to a certain meters. You're supposed to raise a tank, and the tank that is raised, the steels that are used are specific, Mr. Speaker. Even the solars that are used for these water projects, they are all in the BQs. I saw an example, a water project in Migori County where the tank that was raised fell. There's a video going around where the tank fell. So it's not far from what the projects that the committee went around to see, that some projects were not done, yet payments were made. It makes our work as legislators very, very hard, that at the stages of acquiring the BQs, at the stages of awarding contracts, we are not involved because that is not our work, it is executive work. But when it comes to the oversight work, Mr. Speaker, the communities are expecting so much from us that as legislators, we need to be going around and confirming if the projects were done in a right way. It is very, very serious, Mr. Speaker, the issue of water, that if we are not careful, so many households would not get access to water. I would want to support this work done by Water Committee, and hoping that when it comes to Implementation Committee, where I sit, we will invite various people that are involved at this stage so that we can execute our work. Otherwise, I stand to support the report. Thank you.
Uko, and then Honorable Kubudo.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. First, I would like to congratulate the committee for coming up with a clear indication of what is happening in water sector. For one, I will be general. Mr. Speaker, 2010 Constitution was very clear. It was giving the counties authority to manage their affairs. Mr. Speaker, after having been given that opportunity as counties, we are failing the test. We are failing because the national government has given the authority to counties to do their duties as required by law without any interference. Maybe if we can talk about interference, just disbursement of money. But we are given the authority to man our own activities. And we are failing. Because the moment we are trying to put a lot of plays and jokes with water, which is an essential source for the existence of human life on earth, it is quite unfortunate. Mr. Speaker, we must question some departments within the county system. We have a department called Monitoring and Evaluation Department. This is a very important department which will help us deliver on several issues, and especially on development matters. And monitoring and evaluation is just a continuous management function to assess if the progress is made in achieving expected result. Where are they when we are implementing all this? Where do they exist? Do they make a follow-up? Where are they? Is that department there? And if it is there, I've never seen such kind of department since I joined this house. They will be helping on this kind of wastage and incompetency we are seeing in this kind of work. But if the department is there and it is not functioning, now this is why we are failing in implementation. Mr. Speaker, our work is not to implement, but to oversight. But it is unfortunate for us to sit here and lament without summoning or inviting the people concerned to explain why we are failing in this. This is part of our function. Honorable members, we have to stand tall to be counted, or else we are going to be blamed. We have gone to the ground, we have known what is happening, we are seeing how the wananchi are not being given the best services, and now we are here to only lament. And I therefore, before this, I will propose for an amendment on the proposals and on the report and on the motion we are talking about here. Mr. Speaker, we also have performance contracting. Performance contracting and monitoring and evaluation, sometimes people see it as the same. Actually, performance contracting, it improves the quality and effectiveness of the services and the product. If these people are also there, and this office is there, why are they not following? And they are earning from public coffer. They are employed to work for the betterment of Kisumu people. And these people are not functioning. Why don't we summon these people too to come here and explain why they are failing in their job? Mr. Speaker, with this, you know, when there's a lack of supervision by the engineers, do you have the engineers, water engineers within the county? And what are their jobs? We have one in Kisumu West sub-county, who is in charge of water. And what are their roles? What do they report? What do they see? Are they working for the people, or they are working for their own, for themselves, or for the contractors? I wonder, a public officer would okay a project to be paid, and it is done in a substandard way. It is quite unfortunate. I don't know whether they know the water levels of these wells they are sinking. I don't know whether they really know the impurities, the water content. What does it contain? Is it up to the standard for human consumption? You know, for us, there are some basic things which have to be done first. Then we come to the nitty-gritties, like water content, water level, and such kind of things. The moment they fail in the basic line, they will always fail in very important matters like contents and such kind of things. And we might be, our people might be, they might be using substandard water and safe water. And we are here, we are looking at the reports, and we can't summon them. I therefore propose for an amendment now, Mr. Speaker, that given all the recommendations and observations, we summon the people concerned in a week's time to answer to these queries. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Maybe Honorable Billy to second.
Billy. Honorable members, within the debate, Honorable Ken Ouko has proposed an amendment, seconded by Honorable Billy. As per our standing order in that case, we deal with the proposed amendment before we proceed with the debate. So in that case, even if you had spoken, you are still allowed to debate the proposed amendment. So I want to propose that the amendment is open for debate. I want to assume that silence means concurrence. So Honorable Ken Ouko, can you reply on your amendment?
Mr. Speaker, it is very important that everybody must be answerable and accountable to their actions. These are people who are earning from public fund. They are on duty. They must deliver on their duty. Mr. Speaker, I beg to reply. Thank you.
I proceed to put a question on the proposed amendment. As many of the opinion that the amendment proposed by Honorable Ken Ouko be part of the report, say aye.
Aye.
As many of the contrary opinion say nay. The ayes have it, and the proposed amendment forms part of the report. So as you proceed to debate, you debate in your mind, knowing that now there is an amendment in the report. So can proceed for those who have not debated. Honorable Komudo.
Many thanks, Honorable Speaker. Many thanks to fellow colleagues, honorable members. This afternoon, I arise to continue to support for the adaptation of the report by the very able Committee on Water. A lot of recommendations, a lot of the gray areas have been mentioned in the report. Honorable Speaker, together with the members, it is quite unfortunate that these projects are done in good faith, are proposed in good faith, but the same have turned out to be the cash cows for some of our colleagues in the executive. I say this because in the report it was very clear that very few projects were completed to satisfaction. A number of projects are quite incomplete. And this specifically, it doesn't happen only on this water projects department. Honorable Speaker, together with the honorable members, these things spreads across to the other areas, including the roads and other departments, so that would be irrelevant under the circumstances. We have a situation whereby we are seen back in the villages as representatives and specifically with the role of the oversight. But how far does the oversight go? What is oversight in real sense? Honorable Speaker, together with the members, we are suffering back because of these collapsed projects. And as much as we make very good reports, like my colleague said here, it has come to only lamenting and lamenting. Going by exactly what has taken place in the afternoon, I would be a happy person to see some of these people now getting answerable. Back in villages, for the collapsed projects, like what we have had in the water, for the other collapsed projects, like in the road departments, everything goes back to the MCA of the area. Back in the village, people know every MCA amekula barabara. MCA amekula pesa ya hii maji yote ameenda nayo. While at the same time, we do not award any contract to these contractors. We have very little, we don't sign anywhere, whether the job has been poorly done. All that ends up that these people have been paid their monies and they have made their way. How I wish we could have a place where the MCA could be signing somewhere that they are also satisfied. This has been brought to debate, it never worked for us. If we were to sign anywhere, I tell you, majority of these collapse projects would not be happening. But we are where we are. Let us go by the recommendations of the Water Committee. Let the Implementation Committee not only hope, because I had my fellow colleague in the Implementation Committee hoping for things. Please don't hope, Honorable Member. Swing into action. We want to see some actions done by the Implementation Committee, like the other good report we had yesterday. Many thanks, Honorable Speaker. Many thanks to honorable members, and I support the report 100%.
Honorable Emily.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'd like to make my contribution on this motion. First of all, I'd like to thank the committee for carrying out this investigation and bringing this motion to the House. It's a very good move because we know that water is a fundamental human need. And up until now, if we have incomplete projects, incomplete water projects within Kisumu County that actually ran back to many years, then we know we're not really doing anything. I remember during the governor's campaign and his manifesto, one of the key pillars was to provide clean and affordable water to the people of Kisumu County. But with this kind of project, we don't see that happening. So it's time for the governor to crack a whip on this department, because if you have all these incomplete projects, these are just samples from the committee. The committee could not actually go around all the projects, but they just did a few samples and came up with a report on the few sites visited. And as you can see, most of them are incomplete. I'd like to focus on two recommendations by the committee. That is on enhancing project oversight. This is a very good recommendation because already the committee has brought back a report on what is actually happening on the ground, where we have projects with no PMCs. If you have a project running without the PMC, which means that there's no community involvement. So you wonder how that project was actually initiated and how it was they did groundbreaking for that project without the community, without the community involvement. Because at the end of the day, these projects belong to the community. I'd like to encourage members to continue carrying out more oversight duties in other areas apart from the water project, like roads. We'd like to see more of their reports on the current status of the road project, just like health did just the other day, on the status of hospitals within Kisumu County. I know as we go around carrying out our oversight role and giving feedback on the progress of these projects, then we'll be able to get the real picture of what is going on in the ground. Mr. Speaker, I'd like to elaborate on enhancing planning and scoping procedures. That is recommendation number 2. On this, you find that some of these water projects were budgeted for. And they were brought to the assembly and they were approved. Money was allocated. But you find that when they were being implemented, then some of them actually did not work, like the borehole drilling, like at St. Barnabas. There was a borehole which was drilled, but there was no water in that borehole. So actually it was more of a failed project. And also if you look at another area, I can't remember which one, but there was a borehole, actually there was a very short distance between the two boreholes. So you find that that borehole dug could not really serve its purpose because already they had another borehole that was serving them. So you find that as the department plans for some of these projects, it's more of the planning for them to be allocated money. And I'd like to request the committee on budget, if we can have a meeting with this department where they can present their scorecard on the previous budget that they were allocated, then the committee is able to allocate what is needed, because you find some of these projects actually left undone, and they still, and at the end of the financial year, they still come back here requesting for more allocation for some more new projects, which actually we end up having so many projects unfinished. If the committee of budget could actually do that follow-up and know which department has actually utilized the finances before they allocated any amount of money, then we'll be able to control some of these irregularities. Otherwise, as we carry out these investigations and give our recommendations, I'd also like to request your office, Mr. Speaker, if we could also have a report, maybe from the Committee of Finance, on the status of some of these projects, on the payment status of some of these projects, because you find some of them are incomplete, but they're already paid. So I would request you to also find out, to also recommend that the Committee of Finance to find out on the payment status of some of these projects, so that we can know the status, whether they were paid or they're not paid. And if they can be given to other contractors, then the department should actually go ahead and give them to other contractors, so that we can have water supply to our people. Otherwise, I thank you and I support this report. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, may I call the mood of reply?
For Samuel Lede.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. First of all, take the opportunity to congratulate members for the good deliberations they made concerning the report which you had on the floor. And to answer some of the questions pertaining the members' concern, unlike the issue of Honorable Uko concerning the depth of the balls, I think we would have gone much than that, being that we were not to measure the depth of the hole. And concerning the amendment which has been brought by Honorable Uko, I think it would have been better before we do the summoning, we were to invite, then failure to appear before the procedurally, we invite, if failure to do so is when we summon. That's the procedure we're going to follow. And concerning the water projects we visited, not that we visited all the projects within the county, but they were just selected a few ones, which we visited about 10. So I'm urging the members that in case a project has been done in this department within your locality, kindly you can liaise with the committee or bring a statement to inquire the status of the project so that at least the committee can visit and bring out the feedback from the site visit. Concerning the distance of the bowl, which an honorable member Emily has talked of, the distance between the two bowls which were dug, it was preferably at Orago in Moroni. What we found in Orago was that there were some differences within the community members, being that the water project was named Orago. It was to be situated within an area, but members decided that the name Orago appears, so it must have been placed within Orago Primary School. That's concerns the distance. Then concerning the financial status, like the one from Kaluri, it seems it wasn't done. So I think the correct procedure, being that the contractor didn't take place, it would have been procedural that the member of the member representing the ward should revisit and think for the rebudgeting, so that is being brought to the next level. And concerning the members' initiative, it's good our role as an oversighter. Kindly, as the project is being done, partaken within our regions, I think there are representation. Our office representation at the time of handing over. The ward admin's office usually lies with the area MCS office. So at the handing over time of the project, and then at that handing over time of the project, kindly let the members, we see if you are not in a capacity of making it, kindly we be represented with our people from the ground. Concerning the PMCs, it has been a problem in most of the areas we visited that there was no PMCs involvement. And as per the Constitution, it states that each and every project we partake, we should at least see that members of the community are with the project at the end, because it serves most of them. And not only, as an honorable member Kumuth has talked of, the projects cross-cutting in all the projects. Kindly, for the honorable members, at least as the projects are being partaken, be it in roads, be it in water, be it in agriculture, kindly, as an oversighter, at least if you do the follow-up, then bring back the report so that we get to know what partakes what is being undertaken within the ground. And finally, to the concern of Honorable Komudo, that during the project's handing over, we find that at the beginning, the project is being handed to the community or within the area. Then at the final stage, the project's now the contractor is handing it over. Kindly let's do the same by availing ourselves or our representative to see that's where our oversight role begins. As legislatures, we do the oversight, but we can't interfere with them at while the work is on, is ongoing. So, as they hand over, before we do anything, kindly let us, if the work is not satisfactory, let's object from that point, because if we interlude in between, it might bring commotion that there was hostility within the ground. So the contractors might just run away at some level, being that they were being followed up. So our roles begin when the work has already been completed at the site handing over. After handing over is when we begin our oversight role. Otherwise, I appreciate all your efforts you've made in this, and I urge this House to adopt this report the way it is with the recommendation. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable members, before I put a question, I just want to remind the members that you are aware the Honorable Ken Owuko did raise some amendments to the motion. So it has made me to think of reminding members that if you are with your standing order, you need to familiarize yourself mostly with standing order that relates to amendment of motions, but refer to part 12. Part 12 is on motions. Part 12 is on motions. It starts from standing order number 44, but move all the way up to standing order number 52, which provides for amendment of motions. I just wanted to bring to the attention of Honorable Uko and all the members that I did write on standing order number 53 to allow him to move the amendment. Otherwise, the procedure for moving an amendment in a motion is provided in standing order number 52, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, all the way up to 11. And number 53 provides that when you want to move any amendment, it should be in writing. And you should, the proposer of the amendment to a motion shall, before moving it, hand the proposed amendment in writing, signed by the proposer to the clerk at least 2 hours before the order is read. However, standing order number 2 gives the speaker leave in exceptional circumstances to allow a member to move amendment to a motion before the county assembly at any time during the consideration of the motion. And that's what I did write on to allow Honorable Ken Ouko to move his amendment. Otherwise, having moved the motion by the Chair, Water, Environment, Natural Resources and Climate Change Committee on adoption of a report on the status of the projects within the county, seconded, debated, and the reply made, I want to put a question. And I put that as many of the opinion that the motion on adoption of a report of Water, Environment, Natural Resources, and Climate Change Committee on the status of projects within the county and the amendments therein be adopted, say aye. Aye. As many of the contrary opinions say nay, the ayes have it, and the motion adoption of a report of the Water, Environment, Natural Resources and Climate Change Committee on the status of projects within the county and the amendments therein have been adopted today, Thursday, the 13th of June, 2024 at 16:00 hours. And I want to direct that the contents and the recommendation of the report be communicated to the right departments and the Committee on Implementation to pick up the resolutions for follow-up. And they are going to rely on our standing orders. Within 60 days, they're supposed to give us a feedback on the status of implementation on the resolutions. Next order.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker and honorable members. There's no other business to be transacted in the order paper.
Honorable members, you can be upstanding, and there being no any other business in the order paper, the House stands adjourned until Tuesday, the 18th of June, 2024 at 2:30 p.m.